Hello, and thank you for tuning into this week's Mayor's Update. As always, we have a lot of information to share with you here today, so please feel free to share this video with your friends, family, relatives, and anyone else who you may think could find this information helpful over the course of the next week. The first thing that we're going to talk about today is an update on our paving projects. Crews have gone out and put the first coat of pavement down on High Street, Lovewell Street, and Whitney Street. That project will be finishing with the final coat of pavement being done on all of those streets as well as Sawyer Street by the end of the month into early November. Very exciting to see all of that being done. I can't remember the last time the city did this many different roadway improvement projects. When you add everything that's happening in the downtown to all of our roadway improvement projects that are in South Gardner, and then we do still have Clark Street in Acadia also set on the schedule for this year. So very happy to see us working to help improve our infrastructure that way. As I said last week, please do remember that the coat of pavement in the downtown is not the final coat of pavement. This is how it'll sit over the course of the winter time, and then sometime in the spring we will re-raise the structures and put the final coat of pavement on there. What's there right now is just the base coat that'll last the winter time before we finish the project out in the springtime. With that said too, there is also some paving being done on Pleasant Street in front of the Pleasant Street Bridge. Those of you who went to the public hearing to discuss the new renovations to that area a couple years ago may remember that that entire intersection is being redesigned from what it was when the bridge was first closed. The intersection will be widened. There'll be some more green space in the area. The Polish American Veterans Monument will be moved to a different location but still be prominently displayed under the American flag. We expect the roadway paving to be done within the next week or two, and the bridge should be open for traffic at some point in time, probably mid-January is our guess right now. But very excited to see us continuing to work on all of these fronts to help improve our infrastructure here in the city. The next item on the list today is our school food programs and our overall food access programs that we have here in the city. As I said last week, the school department was lucky enough to get a grant to continue our free breakfast and lunch pickup program up through the end of June in this coming year. Any student from any of the surrounding communities, no questions asked whether they're a Gardner Public student or not, can drive up to Gardner High School and pick up a free breakfast and free lunch. If you have more than one student or child in your home, you can drive up and just give them the number and they will give you that many number of meals. We want to make sure during these trying times with the pandemic, when many people are financially stretched, that no student and no child in the city gets left hungry. So if you are in need of those services, please know that those are continuing through the end of next June. However, the food produce box program that we've been running in the city for quite some time is potentially coming to an end at the end of this week. This is because the program is funded through a grant from the federal government that was authorized through the initial CARES Act, also known as the stimulus bill. And until the next round of stimulus funding is adopted by Congress and signed by the president, this program will be discontinuing in the meantime. For those of you who are unfamiliar with this program, back when all of our restaurants were closed down for a period pretty much nationwide, the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, purchased the excess products that farmers were having now that they weren't giving as much product to different restaurants, and cities and towns across the United States could apply to receive that food to be able to distribute to the community for free to those in need. This initially started out as a fruits and vegetables and general produce program, but eventually in the more recent weeks was expanded to include meats and cheese, eggs, milk, and other products as well. So we hope to see this program come back after the new round of funding is approved. However, while we are ready to continue this program on the city's end, this is a federal project that is coming to an end due to the evaporation of the funding source that's there with the first round of the CARES Act drying up at that time period. So if there's any updates from that, or if the federal government chooses to move forward with extending this program there, we will let you know, but for now, that is where that program currently stands. I also do want to stress that for any student who is in person at our schools, when we move to a hybrid model, they will receive free breakfast and lunch as part of their time at Gardner Public Schools, as we have always done in the past as well. The Commonwealth has launched a brand new small business assistance grant program. For more information on how to apply for this grant and what the requirements are, please check the city's website, www.gardner-ma.gov. The current grant cycle is for businesses that have 50 employees or less. And I do want to put a reminder that there are still applications available at both the state level and the city level for micro enterprise assistance grants, and those are considered businesses that have 5 employees or less. The new round of grant programming, the grants are submitted directly to the state through an online portal, and the city grant program is run through our Department of Community Development and Planning. If you have any questions on any of these grant programs, please contact Maribel Cruz, our City Economic Development Coordinator, or Jeff LeGros, our Assistant Director of Community Development, and either of them will be able to help walk you through those processes in how to apply for funding for your small business if you've been negatively impacted by the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Our hybrid learning model for our schools begins this coming Monday, October 26th. Very excited to see our students back in the building again. If you have any questions as to what group your student is part of, please contact the superintendent's office or visit www.gardnerk12.org for more information on hybrid learning. As we stated before, this will involve half the students being in the schools on certain days of the week and the other half learning from home during that time period, and vice versa, with all students being home on Wednesdays. This is our first step into being able to get students back into the school building. We do not meet the space requirements to be able to have all of our students in at one time in our current square footage footprint that we have in all of our school buildings. I want to say that all of how this progresses is solely based off of the Department of Public Health map that gets released weekly from the state. If Gardner's color designation changes to yellow or red, we will have to evaluate when we go back into a fully remote system based on the number of active cases that we have here in the city per that mapping designation. But right now, Gardner is in a green or gray situation and has been since sometime in the midsummer. So we are safe to be able to get some students back to start in-person learning through a hybrid model in our school system. I want to give a special thank you to our teachers for all the work that they've been doing to get us ready to get into hybrid learning. I want to thank particularly to our custodial staff who have been doing the extra cleaning in our school buildings during this time period, and our superintendent for his leadership throughout this process. I also want to kindly ask our students and our parents in the city to be patient over the course of the next week or two, because this is something that's new not only for our students, but for our teachers, many of whom have been teaching the same classes in the schools for quite some time and now have to find new ways to teach the same material they've been teaching for a long time. This is part of the whole new transition process that all of us are going through at our jobs, with our grocery shopping, with going out to eat, in different aspects of dealing with the pandemic. And this is just another way that we just have to sit back and let things play out how they do and work with each other to get a good solution on this, rather than put up a roadblock first thing when you see that. So please do be patient with our teachers. They are really doing their best, and I am very appreciative for all they've done. I can say my aide, Colin Smith, myself, and Representative Zlotnick took a tour of all of our school buildings this week after all of our HVAC work was completed, because I wanted to see it myself, in all honesty, and because I can read a report on a piece of paper, but I also wanted to be there to see and to talk to the teachers and see how they're doing as we move into this period here. So thank you to the teachers that took the time to talk to me while we were visiting those schools, and thank you to all of our principals for allowing me to go into your buildings to see the status of everything before we have our students back into our school buildings, and I'm excited to see where we go from here. The next item for us to talk about today is regarding our health department. Many of you may know that our building department over the past couple of years has been using an online permitting system called Viewpoint. We are happy to announce that thanks to the work of our dedicated staff in the health department, particularly Angela DePrima, who works as the administrative coordinator for that department, all of the permits and applications for the health department are now live on our online permitting software. So thank you very much to the health department for getting that off the ground. And if you need any forms or applications and you'd rather not come into the City Hall building, you can apply for and pay for that permit now through our new online system. We do have Trick or Treat coming this upcoming week for Halloween. Again, Trick or Treat will take place on Saturday, October 31st from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. We ask that everyone who chooses to participate in Trick or Treat please follow the new state-issued guidelines regarding Trick or Treat. Make sure you wear your mask, you keep 6 feet apart from each other through social distancing. And if you feel unsafe about going out on Halloween, please do either keep yourself or your children home. And if you feel as if you'd rather not have people come to your house, please do shut your porch light off. Halloween has always been a voluntary choice as to who participates and who doesn't, and it will continue that way this year, but please make sure you continue to do so in a smart, safe, and healthy manner throughout as we navigate through this pandemic. The last thing I would like to close with is I had several residents from Raymond Street reach out to my office since we announced the cable expansion on Kelton, Stone, and Wheeler. It was unbeknownst to Comcast that we did not have services in that area of the city. My office and Councilor Kaczynskis are continuing to work with Comcast to see if we can get cable services out to Raymond Street as well. And we will update you as that continues to go forward. That is the end of this week's update. As always, thank you very much for tuning in. Please continue to keep track of your own physical and mental health during these trying times. Check up on each other, your family, your friends, and relatives. And until we meet again next week to talk about what else is going on around the city, I look forward to speaking with you soon. Thank you very much, and have a good day.